from a snow-covered small town 45 minutes northwest of Toledo, Ohio. We bring you live to the 500-seat venue, that is home to the reigning NCAA Division III national champions. However, tonight it plays host to a struggling sub-500 Bulldogs team who plays host to a historic rival. Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside Arrington Ice Arena. My name is Reagan Cleaves alongside Devin Sarah, and we are happy to have you along for game number 2 of a weekend set as the Central Michigan Chippewas look to close out their weekend with the win against the Adrian Bulldogs. Well, Devin, with the absence of Isaac Gibbs on Friday, Central Michigan needed their players, their younger players in particular, to step up. Who do you think stepped up the biggest?
Yeah, it was a wholesale effort from them, but I would say the most important one was Andrew Siraki. He had his 4th goal in 3 games dating back to that Saginaw series, and he was one of the forwards that stepped up, went up to that top line to replace the injured Isaac Gibbs, and played well. We also saw Sam Camara have a good game. Brandon Clements, who's still without a point to his name this season, good well. So a lot of the young forwards, Connor Morgan even, have played phenomenal, and they're looking to have another strong outing tonight.
Exactly. We'll look for those players as we go on here tonight. Taking a look at last game for Central Michigan, they came out and dominated these Bulldogs, Devin. They got points. They got 2 goals in the first period, and on both those goals, the assists came from Connor Morgan and Jay Nadeau. Central Michigan really played a full 60-minute complete game here.
Yeah, they really did, and most importantly, that second line was playing a lot better. We talked about how Jay Nadeau was having to play with Julian Johnson. Keelan Baker moved around a lot on the second and third line as well, so they were versatile even when they didn't play with the normal guys they're used to and have chemistry with. So all around, like we mentioned, it's a full team effort here. You've got banged up bodies, and after this game, you go to Grand Valley. Look, they might get Isaac Gibbs back, probably not, but the point is they're going to be running 3 lines tonight, and all 3 of them have to be performing well.
Exactly. Central Michigan needs to play a full game tonight. We'll get to more of that later here on the Optimex pregame show. Taking a look around the MCHC East, Saginaw Valley State and Lawrence Tech butted heads in a 2-game weekend series this weekend, and they split it. Saginaw won one of them, Lawrence Tech won the other, and that puts Saginaw and keeps them ahead of Lawrence Tech 10 points to 9 in the MCHC East. Saginaw is 5-1. Lawrence Tech 4-1-0-1. Trailing them are the Central Michigan Chippewas at 3-2 on the campaign. Michigan, Flint, Michigan, Oakland, and Adrian following up those standings here in the MCHC East. Taking a look at both these 2 teams, Devin, Central Michigan comes into tonight 8-5-1. They had a good bounce-back game on Friday, but their net-minding job is still up for grabs.
It really has, and Elijah Jones was the starter on Friday night, and he performed his 2nd shutout of the season. 3 wins to his name this year. Lauren Jones is the other goaltender. He will be getting the start tonight, as well as Joel Drucker will be dressing. So if you're Lauren Jones tonight, look, you got to match that effort. He had a good series against U of M Flint, kept them in the game to get it to overtime. He played decent against Notre Dame, albeit getting pulled late in it, and Elijah Jones came in. So this is really an important game for Lauren Jones. We talked about the goaltending battle all up to this point, to the first 15 or so games of this season. It's really important that Lauren Jones once again establishes himself as the steady presence and keeps his team not only in the game but calm and cool and confident in front of him.
Exactly. Across the ice, Adrian College comes in today with a 5-6 record. They are winless in the MCHC with 3 losses to their name. They've dropped games against Lawrence Tech as well as Central Michigan earlier this weekend. So they sit dead last in the MCHC East, and they are a team, Devin, that has struggled to find their identity. They've been relying on their top 2 scorers in Ryan Pino and Evan Bliss, but they really can't get anything going.
We've seen that top line be the most forefront scoring power for them. Both those players have the most goals on the team with 9, 15 points to Blitz's name, 18 to Pino's. And look, that's really what has to happen for them in this game, is that top line is the only one that really has produced anything. They've kind of been shaky along with their goaltending situation. So Heiser got the start on Friday. We'll see who they put in net tonight, but yeah, for Adrian, it's got to come from their top performers, and it's really got to happen quick, especially like we talked about how CMU is playing a lot better on that 2nd and 3rd lines.
That win on Friday for Central Michigan pushed them to 10-6-0-1 all time against the Adrian Bulldogs, but here at Arrington, Devin, Central Michigan has had the better hand. They are 6-2-0-1 here in Adrian, and this is for Central Michigan. If they can get a win here tonight and sweep Adrian, they can keep pace with SVSU and LTU.
Let's not forget last year as well, they played Adrian on home ice and lost 3-2 in that game, and they came back to Arrington and played a wonderful 60 minutes to beat them and split the series. So this ice really does favor the Chippewas, and one that, we saw Charlie Hayes had a goal last year. He likes this place. Keelan Baker also plays well here, so a lot of the guys that are familiar with this ice sheet going to probably be the ones to step up and do the scoring for the Chips.
Exactly. It should be a fun one here tonight. A great atmosphere for not only Division III NCAA, but also Division III ACHA hockey. Taking a look at the players to watch, Devin, you had Andrew Siraki and Nathan Bottles, both goal scorers in Friday's game. Tell us more about them.
Siraki, the freshman from Northville, scored, like we said, 4 goals in his past 3 games, but he's done a lot more than just the goal scoring. He's been both offensively and defensively versatile. He was playing on defense with the injured Braden Keeled for the first half of this season, and then afterwards went to the forward line, kind of played on that second line a bit, but moving up to the top line to replace Isaac Gibbs, he has stepped up big, and he's done it all, really, getting in the passing lanes defensively, being the open man, and being able to finish goals, and that's been the important thing for him. And then as far as Nathan Bottles goes, look, the transfer from Arcadia, he is that kind of skilled, versatile player that brings the speed, the hockey IQ, the presence, and the ability to play at the NCAA Division III level. Look, he's going to be one of the best players on this team, not just tonight, but the rest of the season. And he's one that, like we said, scored last Friday or this past Friday and was a key contributor, and we expect him to be once again tonight.
Indeed, it should be a good game for both those two players. And on the other side of the ice, Adrian, again, Ryan Pinot, Evan Bliss, the top 2 scorers by far for this Bulldogs team. What does Central Michigan need to do to stop them?
Key is what they did Friday night, and that's really limit them to the outside and make life tough for them. Look, CMU is a physical, hard-hitting team. They like to frustrate you, especially with the notable forwards, Ben Rydchuk, that make things frustrating after the whistles and keeping them. So they just got to keep those guys to the outside. They got to shut them down early. They got to keep them out of the confidence zone, which is, look, when those two are connecting, they are fast flying, and they're going to make life tough for Lauren Jones. So it's about the defense stepping up, blocking the shots when they get there, and just pushing them, forcing them to make mistakes.
Central Michigan looking for yet another sweep this season. They have a good amount of them to their name this year, and we'll see how they can do here tonight. Devin, your keys to the game. What do you got for us?
Well, first one we started out with was they needed to open the scoring once again. We talked about how important it was for them to score the first 2 on Friday, and that took Adrian out of the game right away. They have to do that again. Don't give Bulldogs any sort of momentum that will help them pushing forward, especially since, look, CMU is the better team in this game on the stat sheet, but look, let's face it, momentum-wise, it matters whoever scores the first goal. They have to be poised defensively once again. They did a good job, like we said, shutting down Pinot and Bliss, keeping them to the outside, not allowing anything up the middle, not collapsing too bad on defense, and the goaltending will be there. They just got to play, like we said, a full 60 minutes, and finally they need to shut down Ryan Pinot and Evan Bliss and make sure that they're not the ones getting on the scoring sheet for the Bulldogs.
Exactly, and that'll do it. Thank you, Devin, for your keys to the game. That'll do it for the OptimX pregame show. We'll step aside. 20 minutes from now is Puck Drop here on CCHN. It's the Bulldogs and the Chippewas coming up next here on this Sunday evening.
Starting netminders presented by CMHIceHockey.com. For the Adrian Bulldogs, they send out number 30, Joseph Miklos. 4 games played, 1 win, 3 loss, a 6.65 goals against average, and a .731 save percentage. For your Central Michigan Chippewas, they turn to the junior Elijah Jones. Through 6 games this season, 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 overtime loss, a 3.55 goals against average, and a .900 save percentage.
Thank you, Devin. Central Michigan will head from right to left across your radio dial, wearing their road maroon uniforms with gold trim, gold numerals, gold helmets, maroon pants, and maroon socks. Adrian going with the gray look, moving left to right in the light gray sweaters with dark gray shoulders and gold trim, gold numerals, black pants, black helmets, and gray socks. Central Michigan sends out Morgan, Keel, Johnson, Camara, and Nadu, their starting 5. And the Bulldogs send out Brian Tanner, Evan Bliss, Ryan Pino, Zach Bagosi, as well as Austin Brining. We've got 20 minutes on the clock. Reagan Cleaves and Devin Sarah inside the broadcast booth, and the puck is dropped. We are underway here on a Sunday evening in southern Michigan. Roran Jones comes out to play the puck behind his net, and Kilb is there for Central Michigan. Oh, working up the wing, pass intercepted, but Johnson picks it up. He gets manhandled, and that's going to draw a penalty. The first miscreant of the game is an Adrian Bulldog, and it will be number 24, Zach Bagosi, to the box. CMU's on a power play early.
Yeah, the leading penalty getter for this Adrian Bulldog team. Bagosi going to the box right away, just working in on Julian Johnson, and kind of got himself crossed up with him, entering the left circle zone, and just like that, CMU leaving off where they were. They had a power play goal last week in the second goal of the game, so once again, they go to work.
And poor Zondik, who's been dominant on the power play, fed it out in front. Right chuck fell down. Up to the near side of the point. Hayes lets a shot go. That ricocheted wide. Rebound across the way, and the Bulldogs take it and clear it down the ice. Hooking the infraction on Bagosi. CMU on the year is 15 for 58 on the power play. Good enough for 25.86%. Went up a man. They've got a minute and 33 left on the man advantage. Charlie Hayes gains the red line, throws it around the boards. First man in there for Central Michigan is Nathan Bottles. He'll play down the wall for Rychuk behind the net. Rychuk with 57 seconds gone in the opening period. Up to the left point, Hayes slides it across for Martin, right point. Back to the near side, Hayes holds top of the slot to Martin. Wrist shot through traffic, that's skittered wide. Hayes will step into a shot. That was blocked away by Luke Miklos. Hayes collects the puck at the wall, across to Martin, a shot through traffic. That deflected, and with 60 seconds to go on the man advantage, the Bulldogs take it and clear the length of the ice.
Good first shift for that Bulldog penalty kill, keeping the forwards to the outside, clogging up the middle. Didn't really allow a shot on their goaltender Miklos the entirety of that, so a good effort for the first minute and 20 seconds, and CMU's got to reset.
Sam Camara trying to start the breakout as Central Michigan moves right to left in the opening period. Pass ahead to Connor Morgan, deflected off his stick, but he collects off the half wall. He'll work down to the left half wall, back up to Camara. He'll take it and throw it back down to Morgan near half boards. Morgan holds top of the circle, tries to work down, trying to work free, gets up to Camara left point. Camara hold walk the line, let a shot go, save, and it's skidded to the near side on a wide open back door. Nobody in a maroon sweater was there to get it. Across to Nadu, top of the right circle, a shot. That was blocked, and it comes to the near side where Ryan Pino will chip it out, and Evan Bliss is going to chase after it with 5 seconds to go in the man advantage.
Yeah, that initial shot, Morgan was the one by the left circle waiting there. Just didn't get close enough to the net for a second look at the net and second chance at the goal. And Miklos, once again, coming up big for that one. And look, that Adrian penalty kill, their first of the night. They go 0 for 1, CMU.
So Central Michigan 0 for 1 on the power play thus far. And for Adrian, a team that struggles on their special teams, it's a good break to start. Now look out. Taking the puck up. Here's Benoit up left wing. Benoit puts on the brakes in the corner. And he's hounded there by Sam Camara. Crunches him to the boards and results in a turnover in favor of the maroon and gold. Pass is intercepted to the right point, though, there by Anderson. His shot was blocked. It comes near to the... Here comes free to the boards. Darnell back there for Adrian. It's worked free across the way. Tyler Martin overskated it, but he's able to tie up his man. But Briggs Blake steps in there to pick up the puck, and now Martin's down holding his head along the half wall. He's slow to get up. Hope he's okay as the Chippewas break out.
Yeah, he got crossed up there with Henry Darnell just working on that board. Got a little bit of a hit up high, and it forced him to go off the bench. Hopefully Tyler Martin will come back in this game. He's sitting on the bench holding his face at the moment.
I seen the call on Adrian. 3:28 gone in period number 1. Central Michigan getting the first 3 shots of the game thus far. They'll have a draw to the right of Miklos. Adrian zone to our left. Baker to dig in. And you hear the announcement over the PA about not throwing things onto the players or the ice. We had some issues with that last year here at Adrian, with the bar sitting up right on top of the benches. Nice, fun little addition to this arena. Here's Hayden Flynn chasing the puck into the offensive end, beat his man to it, threw it out in front. It took a deflection off of Rychuk, but coming away with it is Evan Bliss. Will feed it up ahead, tipped into the offensive end there by Brining. Play along the near boards, and the Bulldogs take it and flop it in. And there to play it with his glove is Lauren Jones.
And you're going to see this top group for CMU get a lot more work, or rather this third line group, Hayden Flynn, Keelan Baker, and Ben Rychuk, the forwards for it. They got a lot of action in that first game against Adrian, and they had some good stuff happening. Obviously, Ben Rychuk kept off the scoring list, but did a lot of good things in that game. And look out, here's Hayden Flynn, or Connor
Morgan speeds up right wing. He's in all alone for CMU. Got a couple of Bulldogs back.
Oh.
He threw it out in front, but Johnson got tied up there with Ryan Pino.
What a nice move by the freshman working against Dominic Somerville there. Got him crossed up, sent it in front, and just no one home to bang that play in.
Jay Nadeau knocked the puck away, and look out, he's in all alone with a shot. That was blocked there by Somerville. Johnson worked it free to the right point. Martin, a shot deflected in front by Nadeau. Comes to the near side. Ritter down the wall to Morgan. Top of the left circle, a shot. That was blocked away by Miklos. And across the way, the Bulldogs can't get it out. Connor Morgan for CMU. Bottom of the circle, a shot from a tight angle, and it ricochets on the rebound back out to neutral ice. As Central Michigan had Jay Nadeau and Austin Ritter back there to break up that Adrian rush.
A lot of good stuff for CMU, like we mentioned, in the offensive zone, controlling it, kind of right up where they left off last Friday night against this Adrian team. And look, the thing is they're getting the good chances on Miklos to stop those initial chances. They just have to be ready for those second rebounds and stuffing it home. But good job by Adrian defenders there to clear the puck away.
14:20 to go in period number 1 from Arrington Ice Arena in Adrian, Michigan. Central Michigan has had the better of Adrian in this building over their 10 years as a program. They are 6-2-0-1 when playing in the 500-seat arena that is home to Weston Rink. Here's Nathan Bottles forcing a turnover. His shot was blocked out in front. Porzondik gets it back across the way. Saucer pass to Keel, the shot towed away by Miklos. The last moment. But Central Michigan doing a good job to force another turnover. Porzondik tried to feed a man out front, didn't work. Another opportunity comes free to the right point. Camara lofts it down into the corner across the way. Bottles down there to cause havoc.
Yeah, and you saw right there, Porzondik was trying to find an open man in front. He was trying to get that puck to Andrew Siraki, who's had 4 goals in his last 3 games, and right there just could not find that puck, a little too far from him from that angle.
Oh, look out, the Chippewas got a little lazy in their defensive end, and it caused a turnover. Ryan Pino trying to cause some disruption. Bliss slides it across. Opportunity in the left circle. That bounced harmlessly into the near corner. It's worked back up top here for Boghosi. His shot is seen all the way by Lauren Jones. 6:58 gone in the opening period.
A lot of good stuff happening for CMU, but we mentioned Adrian's done a good job defensively. They've created blocks in front of their goaltender, Miklos, and it's allowed transition out of the way. This is the first good offensive look we've had for Adrian, and they've got their top group out there, Ryan Pino and Evan Bliss, who have led this team in scoring by a wide margin.
Bliss right off the face. Oh, he ripped that wide. Jones had no idea where that puck was as he was screened out in front. Back in his own end, Evan Bliss holds. Adrian has 2 shots. Central Michigan up by 4 in that category. Now Pino over the line. Good defensive work there by Hayes. And look out, Ben Rychuk's got the puck on a rush with Hayden Flynn. Rychuk on the outside, lost the puck to Pino on a good back check by the Adrian captain. And the Bulldogs will send it on ahead. Charlie Hayes intercepted the puck. Johnson tries a cross-ice feed, but nobody in a maroon sweater was across the way, so we will have to regroup.
Yeah, and Ben Rychuk, who's not really necessarily known as the fastest skater, caught up to there by Ryan Pino. You're going to see a lot of time on the ice for Pino, who is the captain of this team and has led them, like we mentioned, in scoring. He's not only doing it on the offense, but defensively on the penalty kill, he's been out there. So the key to this game for them is getting him hot early, and hopefully he gets on the scoring. And if you're an Adrian fan, that's what you need.
Now look out, the Bulldogs force a turnover on the intercept, but good defensive comeback there by Central Michigan. Forces the Bulldogs to regroup and neutral ice before dumping it back in. 8 minutes gone in the opening period. CMU and Adrian deadlocked it as we started. 0-0. Charlie Hayes' clearing attempt was knocked down by Zach Major across the way. Antonio Briggs-Blake to the boards. Throws it around behind there for Matthew Baruki. Baruki threw it out in front, bounces to the far side. Briggs-Blake up top. Here's a shot. And Jones saw it all the way with Tanner letting one go from the left point. We got a stoppage of play with 8:31 gone.
Yeah, and good cycle there from Adrian. Got it up top to Tanner, the freshman from Woodhaven. And the key to that offense has been, like we mentioned, working with their top group. They've got this second line out here now. Interesting enough is they actually played pretty fast at the neutral zone and most of the time kept CMU from getting many attacks. So impressive work right now, Adrian, with some offensive zone time, as we mentioned.
Good clearance there by Andrew Porzonda. Got the puck up to Bottles. A pass ahead to Siraki, goes into the corner loose. He tried to throw it out in front. It hit a body and popped up high into the air. Bottles takes the tumble. Look out, the wraparound. Porzondik jams away at it, and he couldn't get to it. 9 minutes gone in the opening period. Central Michigan had their best opportunity of the game right there.
And he actually rang it off the left iron.
Now Porzondik entering the zone. Siraki in with Ritter. Ritter works it, scores! Austin Ritter puts Central Michigan on the board with 10:53 to go in the opening period. His second of the year, and the Chippewas strike first.
Great work there by Austin Ritter to move in for that second chance look after Porzondik grabbed it around. He kept it in the zone. This started from Andrew Porzondik, kept it at the blue line, shifted it over to Ritter, and boy, oh boy, did he never miss that one. Top cheese over Miklos to get him started 1-0. And for Ritter, who really hasn't seen a lot of the scoring, that's only his second goal of the year, an impressive showing for the senior.
Austin Ritter on a controversial zone entry, as Adrian thought that might have been offsides, and yours truly might have to agree with them. Now the puck comes free up top of the left circle, and a good block there by the captain, Keelan Baker. Bulldogs retreat back to their own line, rink-wide feed off the boards for Bliss. He can't handle it as he's harassed there by Ben Rychuk. Porzondik and Siraki getting the goals. Oh, and a big hit across the way sends Flynn flying into the boards, courtesy of his opposite number, Zach Bogozzi. Ben Rychuk picks up the puck, and he gets decked on a good hit there by Thomas Anderson. Up at the right point, here's Kamara, Ishari, and on the rebound, Ben Rychuk pots it home. Central Michigan, 2 goals in a matter of a minute. They're up 2-0.
Keeping that puck alive once again at the blue line after a massive hit at center. Ben Rychuk makes no mistake about it. No Adrian defenders over there to knock Rychuk away from getting to the net. And like that, look, we talked about the fast start for CMU, getting Adrian out of the game early. They've done that now, 2 quick goals in succession. And just like that, CMU finds themselves up from 2 unlikely scores now, with Rychuk getting his second of the season as well.
For Rychuk, that's his 4th point in the last 5 games, or fourth game with points in the last 5. He had 3 of them back in the home game against Michigan Flint back on November 5th. And he's been on a little bit of a hot streak after only getting 1 point through the first 10 games of the season. The last 5, he now has 6 points. 9:18 to go. Play down to the Adrian end to our left. Puck is eventually worked free, and the Bulldogs look to move left to right, but his pass is intercepted out of the air by Connor Morgan. Oh, he gets lit up by Tanner across the way. A big body hit, but that doesn't do much for the Bulldogs as they still do not have the puck.
Yeah, Connor Morgan, a smaller body, sitting at only 5'8" against the Tanner, who sits probably about over 6 feet on skates, and right there stepping into him. And that's a momentum builder for Adrian, where now they got to find anything and anything to get sort of back in this hockey game.
They also got to be careful that they don't take penalties, as we've seen as Central Michigan fans. You can't get too distracted by making the hit. They end up letting the defensive side of things slip.
Fans, don't forget that the CMU Club Hockey Network YouTube channel is your one-stop shop for highlights, exclusive interviews, and full game broadcast for men's D3 and women's Division II hockey. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so as to never miss a moment of Chippewa hockey. Just go to YouTube and search CMU Club Hockey Network to find the channel. CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey.
Bulldogs have numbers over the line. A shot after Christopher Martin couldn't control the puck at neutral ice. It's thrown out in front. Good defensive work out in front there for Central Michigan. And Siraki plays it ahead to Nathan Bottles. He tries to split the defense, but that doesn't work. He goes down with 2 Adrian Bulldog sticks in his midsection. Chippewas try to throw it out in front. Nobody home there as it hits an Adrian body and comes out to neutral ice. 7:55 to go. In period number 1, Reagan Cleves and Devin Serra inside the broadcast booth from press row at Arrington Ice Arena. Now look out, Bottles is in behind the defense, and his shot was knocked away there by Miklos. Now a centering feed, Porzondik, it was tipped up top to Ritter. Ritter, his shot was blocked. Porzondik gets on the near side, up top for Ritter. A shot through traffic, deflected multiple times before it was knocked away by the Bulldog defense. 7:30 to go.
Really good cycle from the puck by CMU. Porzondik, Bottles, and Ritter all getting hot. Adrian doing a solid job clogging up the passing lanes, but they had to collapse a lot on defense just because of the speed and ability of CMU to work this offensive unit.
Christopher Martin gets to the puck, plays it up to Ritter at the half wall, out to Benaraichuk. He'll move out through center ice, cuts over the line left side. He's got a man with him in Flynn. Oh, work in a shot. Oh, he ripped it just wide. Central Michigan, and on a 3-on-2 couldn't convert. Now Bliss poked the puck off the half wall pass. Camara, a shot. That hit Lauren Jones up in the mask. He gets up all right. Across the way, Smith trying to feed it out in front. Bliss gets to the puck on the near side. Up the wall, here's Bogosian, right point shot through traffic, blocked by Baker. Across the way, Tanner, a shot, saved by Jones. Rebound is loose in the slot. Comes back up to Somerville. Near side, a shot that hit Baker again out in front. Tanner down the left wing. With the puck, comes behind with Evan Bliss. They converge for the Bulldogs before Bliss rims it around to the near side, and out comes Ben Reichuk for Central Michigan. His saucer pass ahead to Flynn didn't work, and the Chippewas will have to regroup at neutral ice.
Good 2 blocks there by the captain, Keelan Baker, but this top group, Adrian, cycled the puck really well. When they get going, they have the ability to play with anybody, and we saw right there, Evan Bliss just moving past Camara on the far side half wall, made a nice move to the net, couldn't finish past Lauren Jones, but connecting to Brian Pino, watch for them to be dangerous all the hockey game.
Norwood was tied up at the left point. Loose puck goes into the far corner. Coming out of it there was Briggs Blake up top for Somerville High. Slot a shot, blocked there by Charlie Hayes. How many blocked shots is that for Central Michigan here in the opening period, Devin?
Already, Reagan, because they've been doing a good job staying poised in front and using their biggest bodies first. They're not trying to keep things to the outside necessarily. They'll allow those shots at the point, and they'll take them. Adrian will. But for CMU, like we said, this is something they needed to improve on and worked on, because when there were times in the games against Saginaw and Notre Dame when Lauren Jones needed the help and he didn't get it, it frustrated his team. So for them, they've been focusing on playing better defensively in front. Like we mentioned, they've always done a good job blocking shots. They just need to do it on a more consistent basis.
A good start for Central Michigan here in this period. 2 goals from unlikely scorers, Arston Ritter and Ben Reichek, both getting their second of the campaign. Julian Johnson goes over the line offsides. Good call by the referee. On the near side, 5:12 to go in the opening period.
Stay tuned, folks. Reagan Cleese will have the first intermission report live here on CCHN for you. Recap everything in this first period, as well as get our out-of-town scoreboards.
Draw will be outside the Adrian line across the way. 5:12 to go in the opening period. Adrian trying to work out of their own zone left to right. They only have 7 shots in this opening period. CMU's almost doubling them with 13. Christopher Martin back with Austin Ritter, but they can't connect. And up the right point, here's a shot. Oh, a nasty deflection. They're out in front by number 20 for Adrian Ryan Pinto.
Yeah, and Pinto.
Now look out. Andrew Porzondik's got a loose puck inside the zone. Overskated it, gets it back. A shot. That was blocked. Bottles across the way, harassed from behind, dropped it down the wall to Porzondik. Porzondik tried to get it out in front, kicked it free to the left point. Here's a shot by Ritter, that deflection to the corner.
Oh, and he felt that one off his right hand, Pinto did.
Now Porzondik trying to pull it free. Siraki rips one wide by about 2 inches by the left post. Another opportunity, Central Michigan winning the battles below the goal line, and they've got some opportunities because of it. Across the way, Martin will let a shot go. Karam's off the end boards. Behind the net, it'll be picked up there by William Smith. Up the near wing, Siraki intercepts it. Look out, Rychuk trying to bat home the loose puck. He can't control it behind the net. He gets to it, shovels it up to Ritter. Across to Martin. Siraki goes off, replaced by Flynn. A shot from the right point was deflected out in front by Baker. Extended zone time here for Central Michigan. Austin Ritter, a shot to the back door. It could have been a dangerous tip opportunity. Had a maroon sweater, picked it up. Instead, it was an Adrian Bulldog, and it leads to a stoppage of play across the way as the puck at neutral ice goes up and out.
Yeah, and Reagan, you said it, the key to that's been CMU's been winning the board battles. They're really outmanning the Adrian defense that hasn't been able to get the puck out of the zone very quickly, and for that it just creates cycle. It allows more shots in the net. Siraki, Porzondik, Bottles a step away from scoring CMU's third goal, and right now, look, it's their control of the game, and they're feeling good.
Off a face-off in the offensive end, Adrian looks to go to work, but a errant pass intercepted by Rychuk, and Central Michigan returns the favor with their own errant pass. Sent back into the Central Michigan end. Up at the right point, we got a penalty coming against the Bulldogs. It's going to be a slashing penalty against Brian Tanner here.
Yeah, and unofficially they're going to call that one slashing, and for now Adrian, a very uncanny penalty that forces them back to their own zone, allows CMU to once again get a look. And man, the frustrations just continue for this Bulldog team that's had trouble not only with penalties but on the penalty kill this season, Reagan. Pretty much one of the most abysmal, and percentage-wise 55% on the year.
Central Michigan capitalized on one of their 5 power play opportunities tonight, or last night, Friday night rather. That brings their total to 25%.
Aren't we ever used to these home-and-home series, Reagan, where we just play one night and then the next night? Even I caught myself for a second saying, hey, last night, oh, never mind, that was Friday.
Yeah. I do like the little bit of a break that we get between the games. It's not a 12-hour turnaround. Now look out, Rychuk into the zone. They received the pass from Porzondik on the right circle and ripped it wide.
And point-blank range, Porzondik trying to go blocker side. It was honestly a good save by Miklos to keep that one out of the net, only keep this 2-0. And look, he is part of the reason right now it is only 2-0, as he's come up big on a couple of crucial saves.
Christopher Martin into the right circle, trying to go end-to-end. He ripped it high. Charlie Hayes keeps it in left point, shoveled it down the wall for Porzondik, but he gets tied up there with Bagosi, who will take it and lift it down the ice. 58 seconds to go in the Central Michigan power play. 2:06 to go in the first period. Jay Nadeau trying to work out of his own end, charges right to left for the maroon and gold. He'll work over the line outside. He'll pull up in the half wall. Up top right point for Morgan. He'll tee it up and fire a shot. Baker may have blocked some friendly fire out in front. Morgan gets it back, shovels it down for Siraki. He fed it out in front. It was an on target though, and the Bulldogs will lift it the length of the ice. 1:35 to go in period 1, 22 seconds to go in the power play. Jay Nadeau with the breakout with Connor Morgan. Backhands it to him, and he'll charge up right wing before setting a rink-wide feed to Baker near side. He lets a shot go, and that one popped up high on him. Mikolos. And the Bulldogs will send it down, and they are back to full strength with 19 minutes gone in the opening period. 2-0 Central Michigan leads. Ritter and Rychuk scoring 59 seconds apart. About halfway through, Shane Adu takes it at the line, throws it in. 53 to go in the period. Central Michigan doubling up the Bulldogs, 16-8 on shots. Somerville from neutral ice flops it on in. Blocked away there by Jones. It'll be tied up along the far half wall. Pulling it free there was Smith. Near side, Somerville ripped one wide with a cannon. And Bliss picks it up in the corner. Now an errant pass for the Bulldogs. That comes out. Look out, Hayden Flynn might have numbers. Flynn cuts to the middle, lost the puck. He's got Johnson with him, trying to feed him back door. But the Bulldog captain in Ryan Pino picks up the puck with a quarter of a minute to go. Pino cuts over the line. Offside the call with 12.7 to go in period one.
Nice move by Hayden Flynn to get past the defender. Just couldn't get the puck quick enough, and when he did, couldn't put enough smoke on it, backhanding it to Julian Johnson and allow the easy clear. And for Adrian, that's a tough offside to take as they were coming in transition. Pino with a lot of speed just couldn't keep the line.
7 seconds to go in the period. Central Michigan, Lookout has to defend with some quick numbers, but they hold it inside their line as the buzzer sounds. 20 minutes in the books from Adrian, Michigan. Central Michigan getting 2 goals in a matter of 59 seconds. We'll recap that and more when we come back for the first intermission report here on the CMU Club Hockey Network. 2-0 after 1 from Adrian.
haven't been sleeping well for the past couple of days.
Period number 1 is in the books here from Arrington Ice Arena. Reagan Cleaves back here ringside at the Weston Rink inside Arrington Ice Arena, where it's 2-0 after 20 minutes of play. Central Michigan up on Adrian for the second time after the first period in this series. Central Michigan, it was pretty even through the first about 9 minutes or so, but Central Michigan capitalized on a controversial play where Andrew Porzondik knocked the puck down at the blue line. A bunch of fans thought it was offsides, but the referee let it go, and Porzondik worked down and eventually found a man on the back door in Austin Ritter, who was wide open at the top of the left circle and just ripped it top left corner past Luke Miklos for the opening goal of the game at 9:07. 59 seconds later, Ben Rychuk would tap home a Julian Johnson shot that came off a deflection from a Sam Kamara shot at the right point. It was deflected in front there by Johnson. He got credit for the primary assist, and Rychuk was right there on the back door to cash in on a wide open net with 10:06 gone in the opening period. CMU is once again up 2-0 on an opponent in a hockey game. They've played a pretty darn good opening 20 minutes. They've outshot the Bulldogs 16-9 through the first 20 minutes, and they've gone 0 for 2 on the power play, but they've got some things going on the man advantage, so we'll see what they can do come the middle frame. Taking a look now at the out-of-town scoreboard. Grand Rapids lost last night 6-1 to San Diego. That wraps up their West Coast trip before they come back to face Manitoba on Friday. That'll be a 7 o'clock puck drop. You can listen to Bob Kaiser and Larry Figurski on Wood Radio 1300 106.9 FM, or you can watch on AHL TV. The Saginaw Spirit will play Flint Wednesday at 7. A historic rivalry. That should be a fun one to listen to. 100.5, 790 WSGW in Saginaw. The Spirit broadcast. That again is Wednesday at 7. The Detroit Red Wings trounced Columbus last night 6-1. They will face Nashville on Wednesday at 7. Valley Sports Detroit and WXYT 97.1 The Ticket, where you can find those games. Taking a look at the rest of the National Hockey League, 2 games today. The Panthers and Blue Jackets will face off at 6 p.m. before the Penguins will take on the Blackhawks at 7. You can keep up with those games on NHL.com. That'll do it for intermission number 1. 7 minutes left before we bring you back for period 2. Central Michigan leads 2-0 at the end of 1 here from Adrian. We'll be right back with period number 2 right after this. Reagan Cleaves and Devon Sarah back here on press row at Arrington Ice Arena. Devon, Central Michigan out to a 2-0 lead after 20 minutes. Your thoughts?
Really, it's been all CMU, Reagan. Not too much to add other than that top group with Nathan Bottles, Porzondik. Nadu has been going, and really the power play has played pretty well up to this point. They've had 2 chances, 0 for 2 on the night, but nothing to hold their heads about. Look, right now for Adrian, this is a struggling group that has to find some offense from really their top group is going to be the only one that can keep up. And for CMU, keep doing what they did last period and just hold up the scoring that's giving them a 2-0 lead.
Quick icing here against Central Michigan, 11 seconds into the second period. Central Michigan defending the goal to our left, wearing those maroon sweaters with gold trim, gold helmets, maroon pants, and maroon socks. Adrian wearing the light gray with dark gray on top. Gold trim, black pants, and gray socks. Central Michigan wins the defensive zone draw and sends it the length of the ice for another icing. 2 icings in the first 18 seconds of this one here in the middle frame.
Yeah, and you know, one group that really impressed me was that third line. Ben Rychuk, Hayden Flynn, Keelan Baker have been getting a lot of offensive zone time. Hayden Flynn had a couple good looks. Ben Rychuk obviously scored his second of the year. And how about Austin Ritter, the senior from Alpena, Michigan, his second goal of the year, and one of the forwards that leads this CMU leadership group, and playing back in defense, he's done a good job.
There's a shot through traffic by Zach Bagozzi. Jones knocked it away. Puck comes free on the near side, and out here comes Julian Johnson. Tried to get past a man in Tanner, but Bagozzi eventually worked the puck away from Jay Nadu. Tanner once again finishes a check on Connor Morgan before sending the puck down the ice. Evan Bliss beats out the icing. Braden Keel pulls him down behind the net. 59 gone in the second period. Behind his net, Sam Camara tries to move the puck out. It's deflected through neutral ice. A couple of Bulldogs run into each other. Johnson tried to backhand it ahead to Jay Nadu, but Johnson took a hard fall into the boards. Hope he's all right. Good to see him
get up, man. He lost an edge right in front of the penalty boxes and went head first. Good to see him skate up on his own power.
Julian Johnson playing at a rink that he is familiar with. Played his first season of hockey with the Adrian Division II team last season. And for Johnson, he played only 1 game for the D2 team, but he's returning to his old school here today. Good to see him get a point on the opening goal. Now look out, Porzondik in a 2-on-1 with Siraki Bechtel, and they score! Andrew Siraki's got his 5th in 4 games. CMU is up 3-0, 1:52 into the second.
Yep, they come in on transition. Andrew Porzondik using his speed. He keeps Siraki wide down center lane in the slot area and makes no mistake about it. Putting on his tape perfectly, Porzondik did, and puts it home past the glove side of Miklos. And now for Siraki, the freshman, moved up to that top line to replace the injured Isaac Gibbs. And boy, has he ever shined now. As Reagan mentioned, 5 goals in 4 games.
Siraki has been on fire as of late for Central Michigan. Here comes Nathan Bottles, up right wing. 2-10 into the middle frame.
Goal was an even strength goal, 1:52 of the second period. Scored by number 17, Andrew Siraki. Assist on the play for number 5, Andrew Porzondik. That's Siraki from Porzondik at 1:52 in the second period.
Siraki, all of his points in the last 4 games have been goals, and he has 5 of them. He had 2 of them against in the 5-6 loss to Saginaw Valley State a couple of weeks ago, and he's had 1 in every goal since.
And Porzondik now with his second assist of the night, Reagan. He's really been the playmaker for this CMU offense and had a couple of missed passes in that first period, was frustrated with himself, but came back already shining in the second period, the first 3 minutes. And look, this top group has had a lot of changes and a lot of different moves along the first 15 games of the year, and they've adjusted well to everything they've had so far, and right now really in control of this hockey game.
That top group of Morgan, Porzondik, and Siraki really stepping up in the absence of Isaac Gibbs, who at the time he was knocked out in that Saginaw Valley game was the second leading scorer for Central.
And 2 freshmen notably on that top line. Look, we talked about the turnover from last year, all those seniors that left, who would be the ones to step up and replace them, and really they've done a good job of that. Hayden Flynn
forcing a turnover behind the net, trying to wrap around, but a good left pad save there by Luke Miklos leads Adrian out, but a good strip there by Baker at neutral ice, and the Bulldogs will play it on the near side. Look out, Flynn forced a turnover, trying to feed it out in front for Rychuk. It was knocked away though by Bliss. We'll play it D to Somerville, and the Bulldogs will flip it, and a bouncing puck goes in on Lauren Jones, who misplayed the puck at the side of the net, and oh my, a bit of a lucky bounce there for Jones as he's able to hold on to it. 16:20 to go in period 2.
And really, Adrian hasn't had a shot on net this period to start. Jones has had not too much action, 11 shots for Adrian, but a lot of those have come from the point. And look, right now, this is a key face-off for this Adrian team that just looked very flat. They didn't really have a lot of pep in their step in the first period. In the second, they needed something to rally, obviously letting in a goal in the first 2 minutes. And right now, a good face-off for them.
Bulldogs win the draw. Tanner left point, a shot through traffic. Oh, what a nasty deflection out in front there by Antonio Briggs-Blake, but instead of putting it into the net, he put it wide. Camara fishes the puck out and will try to play it ahead onto Connor Morgan, but it goes by him and down the ice for icing with 4 minutes exactly gone in period 2.
Yeah, and that's really what Adrian has to focus on, is they're not going to get the easy drives to the lane, and when they do, Lauren Jones is going to have good rebound control, so they've got to try and get deflections in front, move this puck. Briggs was just a half a deflection away from getting that one in the right corner, and that one just skirted wide.
Draw to the left of Lauren Jones. Chippewa and to our left. Antonio Briggs-Blake from the right circle. His shot was blocked, and now here comes Connor Morgan. His pass ahead to Jay Nadeau, skittered off his skate, and came back to Morgan, who dumped it in.
And what's notable about this, Julian Johnson is playing in at that center spot with Nadeau and Morgan right now.
Nadeau worked it away ahead to Johnson. Oh, worked in with a shot and blocked there by Zach Bogozzi. Up top, Kiel, left point, slides it down for Johnson. He puts on the brakes, tried to feed it across, but it was deflected and it'll come back out to the Central Michigan end. Braden Kiel trying to feed it across, and laying out to knock him over was Matthew Baruki, but he ended up fanning on it. Sam Camara knocked the puck down on the clearing attempt, and here's Connor Morgan up right wing. Toe dragged into the middle, slides it across for Johnson, but he overskated it, and now here come the Bulldogs. Great back check there by Julian Johnson, and 2 Bulldogs collide. Zach Major went in to hit Johnson, but ended up hitting his man instead. Now protecting the puck, here's Pinot to the high slot. Puck free to the near side. Siraki bats it out. Bottles through the legs to Porzondik. Porzondik got it back to Bottles. He makes a move to the outside. Off of the boards, down into the corner. Puts on the brakes and protects the puck along the boards. He moves behind the net, trying to feed it out in front, but a bouncing puck is corralled by the two-tone gray sweaters, and they'll play it down into the near corner. 14:26 to go in period 2. Out comes Ryan Pinto over the line. He got worked from behind, dropped it for Evan Bliss, though. Those two on a line for the first time this weekend, Devin. We saw it a little bit on the power play on Friday, but they've elected, as the Adrian coaching staff, to put them, their top 2 scorers, on the same line. Now look out. Chippewas gave it away, and unable to control the puck was Trevor Benoit. Now Ben Rychuk turning on the Jets up right wing. He settles it down in the corner, finding a man across the way. That's Hayes. Hayes fed it up top, but the Chippewas collapse and were unable to hold on to the puck. 13:49 to go. CMU 19-11 the shots on goal thus far.
Long time of play here, Reagan. Haven't had a whistle in about 3.5, 4 minutes.
This one will come out to neutralize. Good work there by Benoit to cut his man up, but Rychuk's free in the slot. He ripped it wide. Rebound, Flynn has it in the circle, a shot. On the backhand goes wide. Man, Rychuk changing after his man in the left wall. Brought him in to the boards. Clements will keep this in right point. His shot was deflected around behind. Flynn there to pick it up for the maroon and gold. Backs it up top for Hayes left point. Hayes across to Baker. His shot was off the skate of Smith and into the corner. Rychuk accepts the check there from Owen Marks before throwing it around the boards. 7 minutes gone in period 2. Now a shot from Clements. That was blocked in a painful area there by Trevor Benoit. He can't get it out. Clements down the wall to Baker. Baker out in front for Rychuk. He works it free. He's got it back for Hayes. A shot back. And Baker couldn't corral it on the back door for a wide open net. 12:43 to go as the Bulldogs dump it down the ice.
That was some great offensive zone time for CMU. They were cycling the puck well, taking it away from Adrian defenders.
Here's Nadeau in a 3-on-2. Down the outside. Had to hold up around the boards. Johnson played it for Morgan. Morgan across the way to Johnson in the corner. Back down to Morgan. Morgan working into the circle. Tries to go single-handedly to the slot. But he lost the puck, and the Bulldogs cleared the length of the ice. Icing will be the call with 12:13 to go. And now it's time for a look at this date in Chippewas history. November 20th, 2021. After Alec Evans opened up the scoring with under a minute left in the first, Central Michigan rattled off 5 unanswered goals to knock off the Michigan State Spartans on a Saturday at Arrington Ice Arena. Isaac Gibbs and Jacob St. Andre led the charge for CMU, each with 3 points, and Thomas Rope stood tall between the pipes, making 24 saves in the win. That has been your day in Chippewa history. Chippewas couldn't keep it in. Austin Ritter backhanded it into the offensive end. 8 minutes gone, period 2 from Arrington. Now we'll look out, a stretch pass ahead to Ryan Pino. He's in all alone. He tried to go with a flip, and he put it high over the goal. Lauren Jones was beat cleanly on that, but Pino was beaten by geometry. Now here's Martin over the line. Martin works into this shot, blocked away by Miklos. Back and forth breakaways here for both these two squads.
Yeah, and that one they caught all of CMU's defense playing too far down low. Allowed Pino to streak in and tried to flip it up in the air and just couldn't get it, as that's an offside called on Evan Bliss. And man, that Adrian team just looked so deflated on that bench. A lot of players just hunched over, looked very tired, very dejected of the effort that's happened the last 30 minutes of this hockey game to open. And right now, for CMU, they're just controlling all facets of it. They're playing physical. They're dominating the puck possession time and creating life tough for Miklos, who's seen a lot of action.
They're out shooting the Bulldogs here by 10, 22-11, as we've hit the 9-minute mark of the second. Now Siraki in on a 2-on-1, and his shot was blocked there by Brian Tanner. And here come the Bulldogs. Up left wing, into the offensive end, Brianing dumps it in. 11 minutes to go. Period 2, puck tied up behind this Chippewa goal. Working it free was Kamara, got it up. Brian Tanner's shot was wide, and Andrew Porzanda will collect the loose change before tossing it out to neutral ice. Long dump in, corralled by Jones. He has to get up and allow Braden Kilb to control.
And going off to the locker room is number 28, Austin Brining, the senior from Northville for Adrian.
Porzandic into the corner. Works it back up top left circle for Kilb. His shot was wide. Siraki on the back door. He scores! Braden Kilb's shot went about 10 feet wide to the left of the net, but it bounced off the end boards, came free on the opposite side, and Siraki's got his second of the night and 6th in the last 4.
Wow, Siraki, like we said, right place, right time, takes that one from the nifty bounce off the end board and gets that one free in front and makes no mistake about it. And look, now that's a backbreaker for Adrian, completely dejected out of this game. And CMU, the boys are buzzing on all facets, and like we said again, that top line going to work and has a lot of help. And oh man, look out. Rychuk got his chance.
Rychuk got the loose puck off of the face-off miscue by Adrian. Puck is down in the corner. It's eventually worked free. Here's a shot and a good save by Luke Miklos with 10-14.
And what's most notable for CMU's side, if you're a fan, is their bench has looked a lot more happy and a lot more fan-favorited on that side. And Brendan Martin, one of the former players in this team, clapping his hands up in the upper moorings of the bar here at Adrian College. And, just one of those things where right now, look, they've controlled this weekend series, and they're continuing to do it in this hockey game. Not much more can be said. It's all around a great performance up to this point.
Adrian eventually picks up the puck. Here's Ryan Pino with speed with Evan Bliss. And a 2-on-2, and Pino scores! What a shot by Ryan Pino! And with 9:59 to go, or gone in period 2, Pino gets the Bulldogs on the board.
We said it that Adrian's top group was going to have to be where that scoring came from. It was Ryan Pino, who missed on a breakaway chance earlier in this period, and that time didn't make a mistake about it. What a shot from the right circle, showing why he's the leading scorer on this team. And, you know, that's a little bit of life now for this Adrian team, who's now scored only 5 goals in their last 5 or so games, Reagan. And for a guy that's a captain of this team, has to be that leadership role when his team is down, steps up big and gets them now within 3 goals.
Icing waved off. Julian Johnson charging in with William Smith. Johnson works the puck free. Connor Morgan picks it up across the way. Up top for Ritter. Down the wall for Johnson. Johnson trying to find a man out in front in Nadeau. Nadeau gets hauled down. No penalty call. 9:37 to go, period 2. Reagan Cleaves and Devin Serra inside the booth.
At 9:59 of the second period, scored by number 20, Ryan Pino. Assist on the play to number 7, Evan Bliss.
So Bliss and Pino once again connect, and like we've said so many times, Reagan, here's Bliss with a nice shot.
Bliss in with a shot. It was gloved aside, and look out, there's a penalty coming on Central Michigan. They try to work it free. Austin Ritter will touch up, and what's going to be the call? 9:05 to go in period 2. Looks like Christopher Martin is going to head to the sin bin.
Looks like for a hook. Christopher Martin, the senior from Novi, Michigan, 9 games this year, 1 goal, 3 assists. So all of a sudden, right in the last 2 minutes, Adrian gets some rush going the other way, gets some offensive zone time, and all of a sudden they have a power play chance here. And look, right now for CMU, they've got to stay poised. We've seen them get a little bit lackadaisical when they've had big leads in games. So now with 3 goals, it's been dangerous for this kind of score for them.
Chippewa penalty kill. Here for the next 144 thus far on the year. CMU on the road is 79% and 84 overall on the penalty kill. Chippewas take the puck over at neutral ice. Somerville overskid the puck at neutral, and it'll be played back in here by Darnell. Puck kept in at the line here by Briggs Blake, who'll hold left point down the wall there for Pino. Pino holds left circle, fires across for Bless on the back door, and he tried to find Darnell, but he fanned on it. 68 seconds to go in the power play for Adrian. Pino comes up with it up top for Somerville. High slot, a shot, and a good save there by Jones. Pino keeps it in left point. Somerville across. They try to look for the back door, and Darnell was denied with 7:54 to go.
Yeah, and a frustrated Darnell, the freshman from Northwood, with 2 good looks on the net to finish. That's something we haven't seen from this Adrian team since really the second period of that first game on Friday. And look, on the power play, they did a lot of good things there, cycling the puck well, and look, they got in transition once again.
Here come the Bulldogs with numbers to the outside. A backhanded shot there by Zach Major went wide. Now up to the point, Connor Morgan worked it ahead after he tipped a puck free at neutral ice, and Porzondik may have gotten clipped up high. Puck through neutral ice. Over the line, Brian Tanner dumps it in wide of goal. Comes free to the far side. Brendan Clements turns and rims it around the boards. It'll have enough juice to get out with 7 seconds to go on the power play. Across the way. A pass is errant, and CMU is back to full strength. Tanner to the outside, harassed by Baker to the boards. Pino after the loose puck with Clements, comes free to Tanner. Puck kept in at the line, shot blocked by Baker, who'll move it ahead to Morgan. Look at it 2-on-1 with Porzondik. Connor Morgan likes to just loft it in, and Porzondik and...
Wow, what a collision over there on the far side. I believe Darnell and Porzondik were going down there, and both simultaneously lost edges and kind of did some ballerina falls right there. And look, a lot different play now. This is something we haven't seen, like we said, from Adrian, and they look a lot faster. All of a sudden, that bench has come alive, Reagan, and now it's a key chance for CMU on the face-off. The broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the American Collegiate Hockey Association. the CMU Club Hockey Network, and Moore Hall Television. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or counts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the ACHA, CCHN, and MHTV.
Look out, pin out of the backhand, and how was that not a penalty shot? Oh my Lord! Austin Ritter just about hooked the belt off of Ryan Pinto, and there was no penalty.
Yeah,
wow.
Pinto's looking at him like, come on, man, what more do I have to do to get a call right there? Yeah, Pinto made a nice move to work in, tried to go backhand that time and move it past the right blocker, Lauren Jones. That one skirted just an inch far of the right post, and Pinto right now has Lauren Jones' number a little bit in this one, as he's had 3 good looks on the net, and 2 of them have been on the net. So right there is, look, we mentioned Austin Ritter kind of gets away without a hooking penalty right there, and it stays 5-on-5.
Looks like it's going to stay 5-on-5 here as Briggs Blank is to the box. So Central Michigan doesn't get a penalty, but they also don't get a power play. My guess is it's a 5-minute major and a game misconduct, or just maybe a 5-minute major to Briggs Blank.
Yeah, it's important they keep Briggs in this game. They already had number 28, Austin Brining, leave to the locker room, and we haven't seen him back out on the ice as of late. So already down a couple of men, Adrian is, and right now with another key face-off draw, they've got to win this one, get it up top, and start cycling the puck.
Bulldogs win the face-off. Darnell up to Somerville, rips a wrist shot wide. Across the way, Rychuk comes up with it, D to the near side for Christopher Martin. 6:11 to go. Long stretch pass goes just wide and will go for icing against the Chippewas.
And you know, really for Adrian, the key has been they've been just one missed pass away from getting to the net. That time, Maximus Norwood was at the half wall and couldn't handle it out one and allowed CMU to clear at the length. So for them, they're playing a lot better, a lot faster, a lot better communication. It's just a lack of finishing ability for this Bulldog team.
They've been closing in on Central Michigan in shots. They're now only within 6. At one point, there were 10 behind CMU. They've gotten 7 in the time Central Michigan's got 3. Benaraichuk works the puck free to the near side to Christopher Martin in the defensive end. Left to right comes CMU. Over the line with Flynn doing some yoga to stay on side. Martin, his shot was blocked from a shot. Bengal on the rebound out in front. Rychuk takes it. Full switch places to the left circle, around the outside thereof. He tries the wraparound. Nobody was behind, and he gets decked into the corner there by Somerville.
And he had Keelan Baker at point blank. And remember, in that Saginaw game, he scored with Baker there.
Look out. Here come the Bulldogs. Here's Burnett down the left side. Puck was too far for him. He throws it out in front. Bliss across the way. He's got a man in front. That's Ryan Pinto. And the pass bounced over his stick in the slot. He had a golden opportunity to cut the lead to 2. Now the Chippewas batting the puck behind the net. Can't get it out. Evan Bliss ties it up behind the goal. 4:55 to go in period 2. Stay with us for the second intermission report. Devin Serra will have a look at the ACHA out-of-town scoreboard as well as a recap of the first 40 minutes. Across the way, Benaraichuk, the alternate captain for CMU, works it into Nathan Bottles in a 3-on-1. Bottles to the outside, dropped it for Rychuk. He hit the post, and the rebound can be controlled by Hayden Flynn. Oh, what an opportunity for CMU, and Hayden Flynn, it continues to be snake bitten.
It's not a bubble, Flynn. He just whacked away at the ground. Come on, my guy. Wow, what a chance for Ben Rychuk off the post, and he was set up beautifully by Bottles in speed. And really for CMU, who's been pinned into their own zone a lot of the second half of this period with some life right there.
Penalty's going to come up on Adrian.
And that one
it looks like it's going to be Zach Bogosian to the box. He's not happy. He's going to get a cross check, and I honestly thought CMU was getting the penalty, Evan. And
well, you know what? We have seen a little bit of officiating going CMU's way, Reagan. And for Bogosian, obviously frustrated. They missed a hooking call earlier on Ryan Pinto at point blank when he had a breakaway, and they just didn't call it. So I understand this Adrian crowd, and the players are just frustrated. It seems like nothing can go their way, even when they do have a little bit of uptick in momentum.
Bogosian's off for a cross check. Central on the power play for the third time tonight. They are thus far 0 for 2. Off of the face-off, Siraki's shot was blocked. And the Bulldogs dump it down the ice.
15:52 of the second period. It goes in cross-check at 15:52 of our second period. The Bulldogs are on the penalty kill.
Here's Nadeau up the wing to Baker. Baker into the wrist shot and a good save there by Miklos. 1:38 to go on the penalty kill for Adrian.
We haven't really talked too much about the sophomore goaltender from Trenton, Luke Miklos. Look, he's done a pretty solid job recently scooping pucks up, not allowing those rebounds, second chance opportunities, and when he has, his team has blocked shots in front. That time it was a good glove save to force the faceoff.
Bulldogs can't control off the face-off, but they get to it on the second chance and dump it down the ice. 90 seconds to go, and the Magosi penalty for a cross-check. Briggs Blank still serving that 10-minute misconduct goal. Look out, Evan Bliss forced a turnover. He's got Pino in the slot. Pino to the backhand, and Baker's going to commit a penalty here, and we're going to be 4-on-4.
Yep, that one's point blank right there. Keelan Baker, as we mentioned, after Pino worked in well and a good feed from Bliss, forces him there, and that one's going to be the slashing call. Keelan Baker, that one was very well obvious, and CMU's first penalty assessed of the hockey game up to this point. They've had a pretty, like we mentioned, clean game stat-wise, but really they've got away with some calls, and that time they can't. So a very, very crucial time for Adrian. And look, this top group has done it. The scoring is going to come from them, and a key face-off.
Oh, Bliss right off the face-off, ripped it off the post. Here comes Nathan Bottles up the left wing, gains the red line, dumps it in. Porzondik going after Tanner, and he decks him to the end boards. What a hit there by Porzondik behind the goal. Now Hayes has it, lets a wrist shot go. That deflected up, and the Bulldogs take control of it, and Clements has got to get back. He almost pinched in and got caught back. Now Porzondik, he's got Bottles with him over the line. Porzondik to the outside, gets thrown to the ice, and Hayes will let a shot go. That goes up and out of play off of not carry him off of the boards. And with 40 seconds left in the 4-on-4, we'll have a stoppage of play and a draw on the Adrian end.
And that's where you see the mental fortitude of Clements to not pinch in too far, not give up his positioning right there, Reagan, and keep the play alive. And really that's something that this back defensive group lacked a lot of last year. They got caught deep trying to make stretch passes, play some hero puck work, and that time Clements being stay at home. And it doesn't show up pretty, doesn't show up on the stat sheet, especially this year, how somehow it doesn't have a point this year, but that's the kind of stuff that makes you so impressed and poised with the rookie.
Dominic Somerville down the outside, in tight on Jones, and they score! How did that get in? Wow! A 4-on-4 goal that the referees are going to have now. Whoa, the referees are going to wave it off.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's trying to stuff it short side there for Adrian, and I am wondering about this one. Jones didn't collect it with the glove. It was honestly one he should have had, and they might have called the whistle early.
The referee initially signaled that it was a goal, but upon further inspection came in and waved it off. And I am honestly with the Adrian fans.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused here. I don't understand it either. They had it stuffed short side. Jones lost it under his pad, and now they're going to officially call this one, and it's going to stay 4-1. And not to the dissatisfaction of this Adrian crowd, and like you said, Reagan, I don't blame them, because that one was...
It's been a wonky night for the officials, and the same crew that did the ACHA women's D1 game right before this one, and they had a little bit of a rough night in that one too. So
such a backbreaker for this Bulldog team that's played well this second period and just haven't gotten the breaks their way. Penalties haven't happened when they should have, and a goal, honestly, that probably should have counted goes back on them. So mental fortitude being tested here.
So Adrian on the power play for another 35 seconds as we hit the 18-minute mark of the second period. Central Michigan up 4-1. Two controversial calls, both going Central Michigan's way in regards to goals. They had a goal that looked like it may have been offsides when Andrew Porzondik knocked it down to the stick at neutral ice, or right at the blue line, pardon. And then that one was initially called a goal, but then taken back by the officials. 90 seconds to go, 6 seconds left in the power play. Bogosia's shot. That was shouldered away by Jones. 2 seconds to go. Out of the box hops Keelan Baker. CMU is back to full strength, and look out, Connor
got
Morgan.
A chance here.
Got the puck in the defensive end and moves it out. Keelan Baker pins up Bogosia against the boards. Evan Bliss trying to work it free along the near side. 2-on-2 for either team. 1:08 to go in period 2. Stay with us as for the second intermission report coming up at the conclusion of this period. 1 minute remaining in the second. Behind his own net across the way, here's Owen Marks. His pass out of the zone hits the Central Michigan body and stays in. 46 to go in period 2. Slapping it off the boards and into the offensive end there is Trevor Benoit. He'll go off for a change. Jones halts it behind his own net. Camara moved it up the wing, near side to Flynn. He gave it away to Ryan Pinawan on the intercept, but he couldn't get past Sam Camara on the toe drag, and the Bulldogs will have to regroup and neutralize. They'll dump it into the opposite corner. Across the way, it's thrown around to the near side for Hayden Flynn. Hayden Flynn up through neutral ice for Ben Reichuk. He cuts to the outside, gets into the circle, a shot, and wow! Then Luke Mikolas come out to challenge that one. 7 seconds to go in the period. Hayden Flynn takes his man to the boards. They're pinned up there. 2 seconds to go. Puck is free along the near half boards, and that'll do it. Central Michigan up 4-1 at the end of 40. Devin Serrell will recap it for you when we come back here on the CMU Club Hockey Network.
Back with you inside Arrington Ice Arena for the second intermission report presented by CMichIceHockey.com, where after 40 minutes, CMU find themselves in a 4-1 lead after timely goals from Andrew Siraki, scoring his 5th and 6th of the season, and now with 7th, I should say, and now 6 goals in his last 4 games. The freshman from Northville is absolutely on fire to start the year. And for replacing the injured Isaac Gibbs, he's had some timely goals. He scored the initial one off of a nice shot at 1:52 from a great feed at the left circle from Andrew Porzande, bang, bang play. And then at 9:54, scored from Braden Keel's shot that went off the end boards and back in front. So they were at a 4-0 lead at that point, and then Adrian would come back to answer quickly. It was Ryan Pino who had a couple of great chances before scoring his initial goal of this hockey game at 9:54 from Evan Bliss. Those two, we talked about the 2 top scorers for Adrian's team, leading in goals and points by a large margin, would have to step up. The top line would have to play well, and they did. Adrian had a much faster second period, especially the last 10 minutes, where they saw double the shots they did in that first period. CMU still leads 26-21 in that category, but a lot of action and a lot of controversial penalties, some not called, some called. Adrian's side, more or less the non-benefactor of that. They had a couple of missed calls that were not whistled on by the referees. Notably, Ryan Pino had a great look, breaking in on a breakaway chance from a long stretch pass and got hooked on the play by Austin Ritter, and none call was made. And then 2 minutes later, Adrian scored a goal. Or we thought it was a goal from Zach Major, who tried to stuff it home for his second of the year, and it was a short, it was a even strength 4-on-4, and tried to stuff it short side, and the referee from the blue line, the linesman, ruled it a goal, whistling it in, and we're not sure if he went off sound or if he didn't see it in, but he waved the goal and then immediately waved it off afterwards, much to the dissatisfaction of this Adrian crowd. Very, very upset with the officiating. There also was a missed trip here and there, so a lot of better play from Adrian. Much faster if they looked ejected the first 30 minutes, but they just haven't got the balances their way, and a lot of times the calls haven't gone their way. So that's how it's been a 4-1 game, and credit to CMU's defense. Lauren Jones has stood on his head for most of the period after Evan Bliss, Zach Major, Antonio Briggs-Blake had a couple of good looks. And the other way, CMU had a couple of nice chances. Nathan Bottles, Connor Morgan. Hayden Flynn almost scored his first of the year. Couldn't stuff it home after he was coming in on a 3-on-1 with Ben Rydchuk and Keelan Baker, and not able to finish. So that's what we said after this period. Official penalties. CMU is 0 for 3 on the night on the power play. Adrian has had 1 power play. They were 0 for 1 on that after Keelan Baker slash. So after 40 minutes, that's where we find ourselves in this hockey game. CMU up 4-1. Official out-of-town scoreboards to catch you up on Sacred Heart, the #1 team in the nation after the first initial Division III rankings. Beat Stevens Institute of Technology 7-0, so the #1 team continuing their dominance, as well as Purdue taking down Trine 5-1. We also looked at Michigan took down Davenport 6-2. Saginaw Valley State split their weekend series with the Lawrence Tech Blue Devils, going 3-0 nod last night at Saginaw Bay Ice Arena. The Blue Devils splitting the series and really establishing themselves now as the forefront runner with Saginaw in the MCHC East, only 1 point behind the Cardinals in those standings. And you look at the teams that are contending for that title, Saginaw sits at the top, Lawrence Tech, and then Central Michigan. So the race is kind of heating up, and Adrian at the bottom of the standings still without a win in division play. But nonetheless, our final out-of-town scoreboards to report. Michigan Flint takes down Cleary 4-1. Oakland as well, the same score against Michigan State. Grand Valley beating Miami 2-1. Very close. The Redhawks giving the reigning Vezina Cup champions a run for their money. And finally, in a rivalry, Hope College got the sweep over Calvin University on home ice. A banner-raising ceremony for the Dutchmen, who went back-to-back national championships. And that's where we sit with our out-of-town scoreboard. So after 40 minutes, CMU find themselves still in a big lead, up 3. But can they hold on? They've blown three goal leads this season. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Third period action is next here on CCHN. Myself and Megan Cleese back in 6.5 minutes.
We are set for period number 3 here from Arrington Ice Center. Reagan Cleaves and Devin Serra inside the broadcast booth. Forrest Vernier working the camera for us here this afternoon. Very grateful for him coming out. We friends of Calvin Keys, the broadcaster for Adrian here this afternoon. He worked with Devin a couple years ago for CMU broadcasts, and he was gracious enough to reach out to his group, and Forrest answered the call. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Very much appreciated.
Very much grateful for his services. And I had the pleasure of calling my first year of CMU hockey with Calvin Keys, and it was a wonderful time. And we had a lot of fun going all the way to nationals, calling a radio set there. And boy, so happy to see you getting an opportunity here at Adrian College to call not just ACHA hockey, but the NCAA Division III team that is the reigning national champions. So a lot of success to Calvin, and we appreciate his support.
And I mean, what an opportunity. This is a great hockey school. 7 different programs for hockey and an 8th that share this ice surface. The figure skating club here at Adrian. Our play has been underway for about 50 seconds here in period number 3. Central Michigan defending the net to our right in those maroon jerseys with gold trim. Look out, Evan Bliss rang one off the dome of Lauren Jones. He shakes his head. And we go back to work. Here's Jay Nadeau, worked it up for Connor Morgan. Tried to sidestep Bagosi, but Bagosi wouldn't let him through. Across the way, Morgan picked up the puck off the wall. No, Dominic Somerville was able to get it. Clements down the wall to Johnson. It pops up in the air, bouncing puck corralled, and here come the Bulldogs. Up left wing, here's Darnell dumping the puck in, and it rolls in on Jones. And he holds on with 1:30 gone.
Now remember, we talked about how Adrian had a much faster second half of the second period. They looked a lot more, especially the top group, fast, and were able to get some good scoring chances, just couldn't finish the play, had some unlucky bounces. And look, right now it's for CMU. They're kind of on the backbone here, having to play a lot of defense in their own zone. They struggle with the faceoffs. It's been a key story all year, how they really haven't had that solidified faceoff probability and chance, and once again they lose the draw.
Oh, and a good tip out in front there by Darnell. Antonio Briggs-Blank still in the box, serving a 10-minute misconduct that he received early about halfway through that second period. He'll be in the box for roughly another couple of minutes. But he's a top forward that Adrian misses when he's not out there. Here's Hayes to the left point, wrist shot through traffic. That took a deflection off of the skate of William Smith, and the Bulldogs will move out before it's chopped in there by Austin Brining. Good to see him back after we saw him go to the locker room earlier. Puck through neutral ice, bouncing around. Baker knocked down the clearing attempt accidentally. He's taken to the boards. And Ryan Pino, the lone goal scorer here for the Bulldogs this afternoon, was able to get it to neutral ice before the Chippewas fired it back in. 17:25 to go in period 3. Central Michigan up 4-1 at the end of 40 minutes. Shots have evened up dramatically here in this one. Adrian now within 4 shots of Central Michigan. At one point, Devin, Central Michigan had a 10-shot lead on Adrian.
Yeah, and really when CMU has recorded 39 shots, which they're approaching right now, they are 1-3 on the year. When they recorded 40 to 49, they're 3-1. And look, leading after 2, they've done a good job this year, 7-1 on the year, but 3 is a dangerous lead for them. We talked about how they lost in games against Ferris State and Saginaw Valley, blowing 3-goal leads. So for them, they still have to close this game out and have a 0-0 mentality.
Keelan Baker turns and fires that one wide. Benaraychuk worked it free. Up top, here's Martin with a shot through traffic and lays in front. Flynn can't get a handle on it, and the Bulldogs take it out. Oh, good hit there by Austin Ritter to disrupt Ryan Pino as he was trying to exit the zone.
And I think you're going to see a lot more times this year in our interviews that Tyler Cataline, head coach of the Chips, mentioned how each period he wants his team to start developing the 0-0 mindset and kind of resetting and starting a whole new game each period, because it's something where, look, when CMU has had comfortable leads, they've kind of choked games away, and even when they haven't, they've made it close with their opponent. And a series like this where they've dominated, that bench is going to be saying to them, look, guys, you guys know you're the better team in this hot game. You have more skill. You got to close this game out and get home with the win, because with this Adrian team, look, they have played a lot faster. It's just the finishing ability right now they're lacking.
Gilb throws it around the wall from the left point, Porzonda got in front of the backhander by Siraki, bidding for goal number 3 on the night. He couldn't get a ton of mustard on it, and with 15:55 to go in the third, we'll have a stoppage of play and a draw on the Adrian end.
And it's really been this top 3 line group that's produced that scoring. Bottles, Siraki, and Porzondik. And look, we talked about Siraki now promoting himself into that goal-scoring category along with Morgan, Gibbs, and Bottles on his team, and stepping up in a big role, and he had a chance right there, just not able to capitalize on the rebound.
Puck bouncing around. It's free in the left circle. Porzondik has it about in front, but a good disrupt there by Tanner. And he'll move the puck up for the Bulldogs. Evan Bliss picks up the drop pass across the line, but he was interrupted there by Sam Camara. His pass in turn was deflected away, and it comes to the near side. Austin Brining getting after it. It's pinned up along the boards to the near side. Porzondik can't get a hold of it. Tanner, left point, a shot deflected right in front of Jones. And he makes the save with 15:14 to go in period 3.
That's a good job by Tanner. Just get the puck on the net. Look for Bliss to try and get some sort of second opportunity there with Jones falling down. And really that's kind of what their offense has looked like. Taking shots at the point, allowing for Lauren Jones to get off center and then try and stuff it home. And like we mentioned, they just haven't been able to finish on the plays, and a couple of times tonight winning these draws, just not able to get a clean shot off.
Connor Morgan over the line. Oh, that might have been offsides, but it doesn't matter as Luke Miklos holds on with 15:04 to go in the regulation.
Fans, the hockey fun here on CCHA continues next weekend with both the men's Division III Chips. That's the wrong ad read. Sorry there, Reagan. You got me looking at the score sheet here, and I went, whoa, we need to get an ad read time. If you're looking for game reports, stats, schedules, and more, take a trip to CHIcehockey.com. There you can find those and much more, including player information, apparel, as well as recruiting information and more. That's CMICHICEHOCKEY.com. That's a
I swear I printed the right ad read for you there, Devin.
Thanks for that, buddy.
Unless that's your one from Friday.
Well,
I don't know.
That's why you always got to look before you open your mouth. And I kind of have trouble with that sometimes anyway.
Something we both struggle with, Devin.
Uh-huh. 14 broadcaster's kink,
14:48 to go in period 3. Icing called against the Bulldogs, so they have a draw on the defensive end. They win it and look to move out. This is deflected into the zone by Darnell. He'll come in on Lauren Jones. He'll play it up the wall, too far for Morgan, but Nadu one touches it ahead to Johnson. Johnson over the line. He's already on a point tonight. Held up at the top of the left circle. He is battling for it, hacking and slashing away with 2 Bulldogs. Puck is eventually worked free across the way, where Henry Darnell will pick it up. He'll halt inside his own end, drop it back for William Smith. He got worked over, though, by Ben Rychuk. He turns on the Jets to the outside. Rychuk working in, and he gets absolutely decked. And thinking he was getting a penalty, Devin Bennett kind of held up.
Yeah, and he tried to get inside positioning there and got it on the net, but paid the price for it, going down hard on the end boards. And, man, frustrated as he couldn't stuff it home right there. But great effort from the formidable senior from Granville to make a play right there.
Now here's Williams, a shot. Oh, that was blocked in front, though, by Baruki. 13:43 to go, period 3. Reagan Cleaves, Devin Sarah inside the broadcast booth here on CCHN. A 4-1 lead for Central Michigan. Forrest Verner on the camera for us here this afternoon. Antonio Briggs-Blank back from serving that 10-minute misconduct, works the puck up to the left point, and that's going to draw a penalty. Brandon Clements is going to head to the box, and rightfully so. Adrian's going to go on the power play for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, Briggs playing this puck off the boards. Clements is trying to pinch in and force him to make a mistake, and that time he's the one causing it, and now it's Adrian's 2nd power play chance of the night. We talked about how they had some missed calls in that 2nd period. The Adrian crowd dejected about it. They had a goal called back even, and right now this is an opportunity for a player like Briggs-Blake that's had a couple of good looks tonight, has done well in the faceoff circle, and once again wins an important one for his team.
Somerville from the left point. Shot blocked away by Lauren Jones. Brandon Clements, his team's second 24th penalty minute of the year. He still trails Isaac Gibbs, who's got 26 on the campaign. He won't be getting any time soon as he's out with injury for a bit. Nathan Bottles forces a turnover shorthanded and will cut up ice with Andrew Siraki. Oh my, that shot goes up and out of play off of a deflection. And
yeah, he's shaving his blade up there saying, what the heck happened? Bottles is one of those offensive defensive forwards that does a good job killing time by just making offense happen. That time skid over the blue line and probably should have held it on longer before whiffing that one way out of the moorings here. But nonetheless, an important face-off draw. 1:31 left in the Adrian power play.
Central Michigan now up 7 on shots, 32-25. They've been out shooting Adrian since first part of the first period, and that could have been holding across the way, but the referees let it go. And given how many penalties Central Michigan has got away, I will not complain about that one. Good work by Andrew Siraki on the back check to knock it away. When you talk about shots on goal, Central Michigan, when out shooting their opponents, are 6-0 on the campaign. They have been outshot there 5-1.
Oh, they got the whole defense moving right. Reagan, it looked like it was going to have a wide open shot. Zach Bogosian and couldn't finish and get that one on net.
Bogosian just got an elbow up into the face of Connor Morgan and didn't get called. I mean, I get.
And Austin Whaley's not happy about that. He's got to be careful. Remember, he was assessed a bench minor in that first Saginaw game for chirping.
Now Pino in with a shot, and Jones holds on. Bliss crashing the net on the rebound. Draws a little bit of a crowd. 11:51 to go in period 3.
Jones didn't really know where that puck was for a split second, and that's kind of the trouble spot for him, has been that 5-hole area. And right now for him, it's about controlling this and keeping his team in it and just staying poised, because he's faced a lot of shots in the last 7.5 minutes.
Up the right point, Darnell almost gave it away, slides it over to Somerville, who shot is deflected up and out of play. Central Michigan, with a win tonight, could move themselves back within 1 point in the MCHC of Lawrence Tech, which would be a feat at this point. Lawrence Tech, the only team in conference to beat Saginaw Valley thus far. And they just split a weekend series this weekend. Oh, look out, they score! Right off the face-off, Evan Bliss. And it's a 2-goal game, 11:41 to go in period 3.
A quick face-off draw win, as Adrian's done so well in this third period. Gets a look for Evan Bliss in the slot, and he makes no mistake about it. He's one of these Bulldogs that can shoot the puck and does that one right there, electing the blocker side top cheese on Lauren Jones. And just like that, Adrian climbing themselves back in this one, and it had to come from that top group. As we mentioned, it would. And now Pino and Bliss, the two leading scorers, match each other with 10 goals on the season.
And Bliss has 2 points on the night. We'll see if Pino gets an assist on that goal. Now here's Andrew Siraki up left wing. Andrew Porzondik absolutely obliterated his man, and the Bulldogs go down the ice and score. Zach Major was denied earlier in this one, added 2 goals in a matter of 20 seconds, and the Bulldogs are back within 1.
And how about Major in transition again, coming the other way, a solo effort to go to the net. And boy, does momentum ever carry. This Bulldog team looked out of it for the first 35 minutes of this game. They get a quick goal earlier from Ryan Pino, and then Evan Bliss just 20 seconds ago. And look, we talked about it, a 3-goal lead being so dangerous for the CMU team, and they let in 2 quick goals like they did against Saginaw, like they did against Ferris State, and just like that, it's only a 1-goal hockey game.
Now look out, Evan Bliss down the right wing, but good defensive work there by Central Michigan. Now here's Bliss over the line with Briggs Blank, holds up there, slides it up top for Ryan Pino. He's free into the slot, his shot goes deflecting up and out of play. 10:45 to go here in period 3, and Devin We've talked about it. Central Michigan has had trouble keeping leads, and it's a one-goal lead now for CMU. What do they have to do the rest of the game?
When CMU scored 3 goals, Reagan, they are 1-2 on the season. When they scored 4, they're 2-1. I bring up that stat, and although there's been a lot more games than that, the point is they've been poised. They were shutting down Adrian's offense all of the hockey game yesterday or Friday night because they kept them to the outside, because they clogged up the middle. Now they're letting them get free reins to the net. It's allowing the top goal scorers to do what they do, score goals. And look, they've just beaten Lauren Jones. And for a goaltender like his, letting up quick goals like this, it hurts his confidence, it hurts his play, and most importantly, it hurts the mental fortitude of this CMU defense.
Now here's Somerville ripping one high from the left point. Collecting on the near side is Smith. He works it down the wall. The Bulldogs buzzing after 2 goals in 30 seconds.
And this top group, we talked about maybe they would run out of steam from playing so much ice time, and they really look a step faster, actually, than they did the all rest of the first of this hockey game.
Rating Kiel. Chippewas cannot get out of their own zone as this goes up and out of play across the way. We're over halfway through this period 3, and Devon, CMU is inactive for the next 2 weekends, Thanksgiving and the first weekend of December, but the women's team is in action. First weekend of December, they take a trip down to Notre Dame, catch all the action here on CCHN. Derek Steele, Matt Ryder will have the call for you on the 3rd and the 4th of December. That'll be coming to you live down from South Bend on CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey.
And what a start for that women's team, 91 on the year, #1 in the CCWHA.
Oh, look at that. And a hand pass is going to be called on Adrian. But a good block there by Zach Bagosi in the slot. He went down in a heap of pain, and good to see him get back up.
This is really a time of change in CMU hockey. The D3 team obviously contention for the MCHC. The women's team playing their best hockey ever, and players like Kylie Del Rey, Noelle Simbro, they have looked phenomenal. And maybe they could tell the CMU team a thing or two about scoring goals late and in quick succession, because that women's team, boy, they are never out of a game.
Andrew Siraki picks up the puck along the far half wall, works it up top for Clements. 9:34 to go regulation. 4-3 CMU leads. Clements kept it in right point across to Charlie Hayes. He's got a ton of room, works into the shot, blocked there, and a good one there by Baruki. Now another shot from a sharp angle, blocked up. Clements gets it down low to Porzondik. Porzondik, he's dangerous. What can he do with it here? He gets worked over, but showing some work ethic to get it back. He again strips a man. Oh, work to the right point. His shot was blocked. Look out, Chippewas have to get back. Now a pass ahead, and a man, oh, you're going to call a penalty shot on that?
Wow, yeah, I don't know about that one. Major got inside positioning past Porzondik, and they called the whistle. It looked like he tripped him up just past the blue line, but I didn't think he was that far away
it was
from the
offsides.
defense.
It was offsides. Okay.
Very much. Reagan had
mind.
a Reaganism, thinking the refs were given a penalty
okay,
shot.
you know what confuses
I'm not
me?
Sure.
You know what confuses me is when you got the referees calling offsides. So when the referee points back toward neutral ice, I think he's calling a penalty shot.
Nonetheless, Porzondik trying to do it all, working in that right corner. Reagan, we know he's so good with his hands, able to stick handle past guys, strong, able to knock guys off the puck, off their stick, and right now trying to do it all on his own. Look, that CMU cycle has been good, but not great enough to get in the scoring column this third period.
Connor Morgan, a dangerous hit there by Somerville, going for the knee on Connor Morgan. And now Ritter gets taken down, and the referee in front of us is almost smiling after that, because that really wasn't a penalty. Now Johnson to the near side, Nadeau, and he ripped one high, and Connor Morgan got tied up with a Bulldog in the defensive end. Now here's Dominic Somerville getting chopped from behind by Jay Nadeau, and it's flipped to the near side off the top of the glass and stays in play. And now Johnson taken down. That will be a penalty, and rightfully so. Now Nadeau steps into his man. Penalty or goaltender to the bench. Sixth attacker on here for Adrian. 8:08 to go in period 3. Across the way, delayed penalty here on Central Michigan. Evan Bliss up the wing. Gets through to the defense. He's into the slot. Still has the puck. Dropped it back. Here's Lockhart. But he gave it away, and Johnson's going to go to the box for a rather blatant cross-check. So Central Michigan, who is only 1 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight, 1 for 3, will head back on the penalty kill with 7:54 to go in the third.
You know, Reagan, you wrote a headliner this year that penalties kill. When this CMU takes penalties, yes, they've been one of the better penalty kill teams in the nation, but they're taking a lot of penalties here, a lot of sloppy play, just not as fast as Adrian Group. They, let's face it, has got inside positioning at times, has won the board battles and created havoc. And right now, I mean, this is not going at all in CMU's way. All the momentum has shifted to this Adrian Bulldog team.
This puck is rimmed around to the near side. 1:44 to go in the power play. The Bulldogs work it free behind the net. A pass out in front was deflected by Porzondik. He's captaining the penalty kill, and a shot from a tight angle there by the Bulldog forward is smothered by Jones. 7:26 to go in the third.
Fans, if you want a score update from our women's side of things, 8-2 the final last night from Loyola Chicago, and 9-1 last night, 8-2 today. The women's team scoring a 17-goal mark against the Ramblers, and so that women's team playing well. And Porzondik, if he could have got free right there, could have had a chance at a breakaway.
Yeah, tied up with Dominic Somerville and Devon. You think 17 goals in 2 games is good. Think about what happened last weekend with Sioux College playing Loyola in Women's Division II.
20-1.
20-0.
Oh, was it nothing? Wow.
They shut out Loyola 20-0. And
that's a burger alert.
CMU can't even match that in 2 games. That is going to be a scary series for the women's Z2 team come later in the year when they have to take on Sioux.
Talk about a gong show. Whenever you get double-digit goals, just that's brutal. Nothing more you can say to that. I don't even have the characteristics to describe a game like that. Can you imagine being a goaltender in that yourself? I mean,
and to boot, Loyola only has 1 goaltender.
Oh man,
that's rough. And
whoever that is,
you hope at some point that Loyola can get to where CMU's at. CMU's been a little bit. They've had a tough last couple of years, especially since the COVID break. But this year they've kind of come to their own, and as Devin mentioned, 9-1 coming out of this weekend. 6:08 to go in period 3. Central Michigan, while Devin and I have been chit-chatting away about the women's team, has killed off almost all of that penalty kill. Jay Nadeau forechecking in the offensive end. The Bulldogs take it the length of the ice. Christopher Martin takes it and flings it out. Julian Johnson hops out while he's almost still in the box. Played that puck, but like for him, the referees didn't really catch that. 5:44 to go in period 3. Puck hops up in the air across the way at the blue line. It squirts free. Look out. Christopher Martin went for the puck instead of the body. Now look out. Johnson over the line to the outside. He gets hauled down. How is that not a penalty? That's the mother of all hooks, and nothing from the referee. 5:24 to go in period 3. Granted, I shouldn't be surprised given what the referees let go on Central Michigan's side, but Lipton. 5:13 to go in period 3. CMU clinging on to a 1-goal lead here at Arrington. Bulldogs of the last 3 goals. Central Michigan got the first 4, including 2 from Andrew Siraki. Now look out up ice. Here come the Bulldogs. A shot from the right point there by Bagosi as he entered the zone. Was denied. Rebound is controlled by Bliss to the near half boards. Bliss to Pino on the loose puck. Clements takes it and fires it around. It'll go all the way back to the blue line for Adrian. 4:40 to go in period 3. Central Michigan and Adrian wrapping up their weekend series. Central Michigan with a win can keep pace and come within 1 win of Lawrence Tech, heading into their weekend series in 3 weekends against Grand Valley State. Adrian, as here's a shot from Briggs Blank, gloved down by Jones. 4:23 to go. Adrian trying to get their first win in conference play. They're 0-3 coming into today.
Yeah, a little surprised. They're going to elect to send on their second unit. The final 4.5 minutes, you'd probably expect to see the most of the ice time go to their top group. They're probably looking to get a quick face-off win here, and if it goes down the other way, get that top group back out there.
It's worked up top. Here's a wrist shot there by Somerville, and Somerville's dangerous. We saw him score back in the first round of the MCHC playoffs last season on a nice wrister in front. Braden Keel taken to the boards. There by Baruki. Adrian working hard on the forecheck in the offensive end. They eventually work it free. It'll roll in on Jones. Alert job there by the maroon and gold netminder to pounce on it. 3:58 to go.
And if you're a CMU fan wondering now, how is Adrian pinning CMU in their own zone all of a sudden after it looked like they dominated in that category? It's just been they've cleaned up the fundamentals. A lot cleaner passing, a lot better cycle from the play. Head coach of this Adrian team, Justin Snyder, has really done a phenomenal job at when he hasn't had his goal scorers on the ice telling him, hey, look, just keep this puck in play for us. Don't try and be a hero. Play good fundamental hockey and not get caught lacking down low. Don't get too caught up high. And credit to them, they've won faceoffs, done a great job in all those facets.
Right off the draw, Bliss ripped that wide.
Once again.
Scored from that spot to make it a 4-2 game moments ago. Now Bliss behind the net, flips it up in the air, knocked out of the air there by Ryan Pinto.
That was
Up
creative.
top here
Wow.
to Smith. Smith down the wall. It takes a hop off the boards for Evan Bliss behind the cage. Briggs Blake into the corner. Up top for Smith. Down the wall to Briggs Blake. He lost control of it, and Jay Nadeau will flip it down the ice. 3:26 to go in period 3. Adrian moving left to right. Here is a pass that goes errantly back to Brandon Clements. Connor Morgan swats it ahead. Andrew Porzondik's got the puck inside the line. Will feed it out in front. Johnson knocked it out of the air, but he couldn't get clean lumber on it.
That was a nice defensive play by Briggs Blake to get back and negate that one-time feed for Julian.
Central Michigan barely offsides. 3 minutes to go here in this one. Reagan Cleaves, Devin Serra inside the broadcast booth with you here from Arrington Ice Arena. Bottles down the outside. Oh, pull up in the corner to the near side. Up top for Ritter. Holte it up and fire a shot. Didn't get a ton on it. And the Bulldogs will swat it out. Here's Zach Major. The pass for him will trickle down the ice. Austin Ritter to backhand it to the far side with Christopher Martin. And his pass goes up and out of play with 2:28 to go here in period 3.
And that was a really nice saucer feed from Christopher Martin over there to Nathan Bottles, and straight down the left wing, just got it back up top for Ritter. Didn't get, like you said, Reagan, not a lot of smoke on it. And now for another faceoff where they tried to cycle the puck out of their zone. Look, it's been a frustrating bout for them. They have lost the majority of faceoffs this third period. It's Jay Nadeau. He's got to win this draw because if they get a one-time chance, look out. He does.
Good job there by Jay Nadeau to win that, and Evan Bliss was right on the back door to try and jam that home, but another face-off is going to be for CMU.
And look now, Reagan, Adrian has evened up the shot totals at 33 per team, and that's just a tale of two halves of this game. First half, it was all CMU. They looked like the better team, and then now it's been the second half all Adrian, and we'll watch for Miklos, the goaltender, if he goes to the box, or the bench. He's motioning far out of his net, so we'll see what Justin Snyder elects to do here in the final 2 minutes.
Oh, that one almost hit the banners, and it did. Wow. That one was lofted high into the ceiling here at
But that's going to force the face-off all the way back once again. A lot of this start and stop, well, we talked about it. When this happens to CMU, it's not their game. And when they're moving the puck well, and there's not a lot of whistles, they can transition, but it's just getting caught in their own zone. It's so frustrating for this defensive group. And CMU, or Adrian, will get their top players out there. Watch for Evan Bliss in the slot.
Briggs Blank to dig in with Nadeau. Evan Bliss right in the one-timer position, but his team can't win it. But look out, a careless pass there for Central Michigan. That leads to a turnover. Austin Ritter turns and fires it down. This is going to be another icing, the third icing in 20 seconds for Central Michigan.
Well, first time Ritter kind of gives up like a weird backhander that really doesn't go anywhere, and then that time just sends it down the length of the ice. I'm very confused why they're electing to ice the puck so much and force it back in their own end. It's not something they're really particularly good at, and this one's going to come to the right circle now. It doesn't really favor Bliss's shot, but they're going to set up
Pinto.
Yeah.
They're going to set up Pinto in the quick fire position, but Austin Ritter helps out his man and Julian Johnson to come in there and pick up that loose puck. Now ahead on to Nadeau. He chops it in. Central Michigan can finally go for changes. 120 seconds left in this regulation game. CMU up by 1, clinging on to a lead here at Arrington. Connor Morgan picks up a loose puck, sidesteps a hip check there by Briggs Blake at neutral ice, and the Bulldogs will try to break out, but a clearing attempt knocked down by Jay Nadeau. 95 seconds to go.
Defense. Nice work to poke check the puck away a couple of times.
Antonio Briggs Blank over the line, lofts it in on Jones, and he'll hold for a whistle with 85 seconds left, and there goes Luke Mikolas.
So we talked about, look, tired bodies on the ice. They cause the icings. They finally get some neutral zone time. It allows them to get fresh bodies. Timeout from Adrian College, and that'll give us one as well. Stay tuned with us. 1:25 left. CMU up 4-3 from Arrington.
And we're back for the final 1 minute and 25 seconds of period 3. Reagan Cleaves, Devin Serra inside the broadcast booth. Forrest Veneer working the camera for us here. Central Michigan up 4-3 with 85 seconds left. They'll pull Luke Mikolas. And so they will have 6 men on the ice. A de facto power play. Central Michigan's got an empty net, but only if they can hit it across the way. Draw to Lauren Jones's right in the Chippewa end to our right. Briggs Blake to dig in with Siraki. Siraki, oh, he almost covered that puck. That could have been a penalty. He's got to be careful with that. Now here's Dominic Somerville up with speed. Had the puck poked away from at the blue line. It's chopped into the Chippewa end. Sam Camara holds. Off the wall for Clements. Clements will take it. His clearing attempt didn't work, and Somerville got a shot off. 62 seconds to go in regulation. Clements across the way. It's worked free. Major to the near side. Here for Bogosian. Bogosian, a shot deflected out in front. Across the way, Antonio Briggs Blake up top. Good block there by Siraki. Off of Dominic Somerville. Now look out. Nathan Bottles has an empty net ahead of him. He's got a man with him as well. Siraki for the hat trick. He scores! Toss the caps onto the ice. Chapeau! Andrew Siraki, he's got his first collegiate hat trick, and that'll just about do it here with 41.5 to go.
Siraki with his 8th goal of the season. What a job by the freshman. And that play started from Porzanik after a shot. Went off the end boards from Somerville, and then Porzanik made a diving play to get this puck back out to the blue line. It comes free to Nathan Bottles, and he makes no mistake getting the feed to Siraki right in the slot area. Finishes the hat trick. What a job for the freshman from Northville. Boy, has he had a marvelous last 2 weekends, Reagan.
He has been absolutely phenomenal, dating back to that first Saginaw Valley State game in which he had 2 goals. And he has gotten more than that here tonight. His first collegiate hat trick, and he has scored the last 3 goals for Central Michigan, and he has scored them all in the final 2 periods. There goes Miklos again. Adrian trying to hope for a miracle. Martin pinned up in the corner. Puck is free behind the cage. It's worked free across the way. Pino up top, long wrister, goes high and wide with 5 seconds to go. Puck is free on the near side. Another shot, trying the wraparound as time expires, and Lauren Jones has his first regulation win since all the way back in game number 5 of the year against Cleary. A monkey off the back for Lauren Jones, and a good sweep for Central Michigan here as they outlast the Adrian Bulldogs by a final score of 5-3. We'll recap that when we come back here on the CMU Club Hockey Network. Reagan Cleaves back inside the broadcast booth with a special guest, Calvin Keys, coming back here to finish up our broadcast booth. Worked with ACTV today, and Calvin, it's good to have you on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was really cool to be able to commentate another Central Michigan hockey game, and I was really impressed with the way the Chippewas came out flying in the first period, came out with a really strong start. It was great being able to connect with you and Devin again, and I mean, awesome to see you. Entertaining hockey game, and it was really remarkable the shift we saw halfway through, the change of momentum. It was all Chippewas in the first, and then it felt like slowly things came the Bulldogs' way, but in the end, CMU able to hold on.
Yeah, exactly. And for Central Michigan, it's a little bit of a change in the dynamic. The past couple of games, they've had a hard time keeping a 3-goal lead. They were able to tonight to keep a 3-goal lead, but you talk about things going right for CMU to start. Austin Ritter and Ben Rychuk scoring 59 seconds apart in that first period. It seemed like everything was going right for Central Michigan, especially when you tack on Andrew Siraki's next 2 goals at 1:52 and 9:32 of the second.
Yeah, in the first period, it almost seemed like there were times at even strength where the Chippewas looked to be on the main advantage, just the way they were controlling things in the offensive zone. Adrian really struggling to clear it out, and I think both of those first 2 goals, both from Austin Ritter and Ben Rychuk, were just defensive breakdowns for the Bulldogs where they missed an assignment out front. I know Rychuk was all alone, and then I like the goal from Ritter. He moved in from his defensive post on the blue line, saw the loose puck, moved in, and just an incredible shot to beat Luke Miklos. But overall, impressed by the way that the Chippewas moved together and the way they worked on the cycle in the first.
Yeah, and things really seemed to start going Adrian's way right at about the halfway point of that second period. They got back to 4-1 with 1 second over halfway. 1 second under halfway through that first, with Pinot on an absolute bullet from the top of the right circle.
Yeah, Ryan Pinho is really just the emotional leader of this Adrian team. He wears the C on his sweater, and when he's playing well, the rest of the team plays well. You could almost feel kind of a shift in the energy in the building when he finally did break the ice and was able to beat Lauren Jones. It was a really nice goal. He kind of sped around Charlie Hayes, who had to open up, and then Pinot, actually a pretty creative play. He used Hayes almost as a screen as he was standing between Pinot and Jones. Tough for the goaltender to see that one, put it top shelf. And from there, I think the Adrian Bulldogs really started to believe that they could hang with the talented Chippewa hockey
team. Yeah, exactly. That was their first goal of the weekend, coming just about halfway through game number 2. So that really broke the ice for Adrian, and it showed in that third period when they again scored 2 goals 30 seconds apart, with Bliss letting an absolute bullet go right off the faceoff, and then Zach Major in on the breakaway.
Yeah, it was interesting with that goal from Evan Bliss because Antonio Briggs-Blake and I believe it was Julian Johnson for the Chippewas were kind of playing a cat and mouse game at the face-off dot. I think Johnson was moving pretty far up on the dot. Briggs-Blake was complaining about it. And then, funny enough, when the puck dropped, Briggs-Blake won it back cleanly, and then just a nice first-time shot from Bliss, top shelf, over the shoulder of Jones. Not much he could have done about that one. And from there, it was really a close game. I was on the edge of my seat just wondering how it was going to turn out.
Exactly. It was a really good game, especially toward the second half. CMU controlled the first half of the game, but as things went on, Adrian kind of got their feet under them and ended up coming back to make it a close one, but the final score was indeed Central Michigan with a 5-3 victory here at Arrington. Taking a look at our players to watch tonight, we had Andrew Siraki and Nathan Bottles for Central Michigan. Bottles gets the assist on the empty net goal for CMU, but Andrew Siraki with a hat trick, his first collegiate hat trick, and he's now got 8 goals in the last 4 games alone.
Yeah, Andrew Siraki on a tear. I have to admit, on our ACTV broadcast, I thought it was his second goal of the game with the empty netter. Bit of a mistake there. Luckily, it's mostly Adrian fans that are watching that stream, so apologies to Siraki. Credit to him. Thought he had a really good game. I was impressed as the Bulldogs were knocking on the door in the offensive zone in the late stages of the third period. I wasn't able to get an eye on who exactly it was, but I want to say it was Julian Johnson who slid onto the ice to knock it out to the neutral zone, and that sprung the 2-on-1 for Adrian. And Siraki got to get the hat trick with the empty netter to ice the game.
Yeah, exactly. Andrew Siraki played very well, and then Ryan Pinto and Evan Bliss were our players to watch for Adrian, and their top 2 scorers did it again tonight.
Yeah, for Adrian, Bliss and Pinto have really been the dynamic duo for them all season long. I think the Bulldogs' biggest issue is honestly their depth. They had that top line of Briggs, Blake, Pinto, and Bliss that were out there for felt like most of the third period. I don't even know if they took any breaks to head off to the bench or get any water with the just sheer amount of time on ice they had late on in the game. But I would really like to see more Adrian players pitching in down the lineup. I think that's going to be the key to their success. But going back to Bliss and Pinho, just the chemistry they have, they're both smaller guys, but they're almost a little bit slippery, and the stick handling and the quick release with their shots they have is pretty remarkable.
And we saw it toward the end of that first game back on Friday. Pinot and Bliss started to get things rolling for Adrian. They, however, couldn't crack the puzzle that was Elijah Jones, and CMU ended up coming out with a 4-0 win, and tonight they come out with a 5-3 win here over the Adrian Bulldogs at Arrington. Again, taking a look at our 3 stars to the game, Andrew Porzondik slots in at star number 3. He had 3 assists tonight on the first goal, as well as the third and fourth goals of the night. And then Evan Bliss gets our 2nd star of the night.
Yeah, Bliss played really, really well. I love to watch how speedy he is out there. He just opens up the ice with the wheels that he has, and really looking for teammates a lot out there too. An unselfish guy that tries to pick other people out. Going back to, you were talking about the 3rd star with Porzondik, the play he made, I believe it was on the 2nd goal, where he knocked it down out of the air to keep it in the offensive zone. That was big. I don't know if it stayed onside or not. We were debating about that during the intermission. But for Porzondik to knock that one out of the air and have set up the eventual goal for Rychuk, I believe it was, that was a big play. Showed off the eye-hand coordination, and really Bliss and Porzondik with strong showings tonight.
Yeah, Porzondik, the leading scorer for Central Michigan, solidifies his lead, especially with Isaac Gibbs out of the lineup. He'll just continue to extend that lead here as we go on, especially if he keeps up the hot streak that he's been on. But 3rd star of the game, when somebody gets a hat trick, can't really not give it to him. So Andrew Siraki, again, played a really good job, played really well tonight, getting that 3rd star. Taking a look ahead on the schedule for both these two teams, Central Michigan has a 3-weekend break. They will take on GVSU the 2nd week of December, now improving to 9-5-1 on the campaign. Martin Ice Arena will be the site of both those two games. 7:05 broadcast on Friday for that one, ahead of a 7:30 puck drop. For Adrian, you guys are playing MSU. If you fall to 5-7, that'll be the first weekend of December at 7.
Yeah, we saw a lot better things from Adrian tonight, but still continue on that losing skid. I believe it's 5 straight losses. 6
straight, yeah.
6 straight losses for Adrian. They had a tough couple of weekends against Grand Valley and Lawrence Tech. I mean, I think you guys are going to be facing a tough test next weekend against Grand Valley State, or I think it's 2 weekends from now you'll face Grand Valley State, but they're the number 18 team ranked in the country, and really just a team that has a ton of depth, a ton of size, but also a ton of skill. Very dynamic group. For the Chippewas, I haven't been able to do much pre-scouting work on Michigan State yet, but they're usually a decent team, so hopefully Bulldogs able to get a win just for confidence sake. They played hard tonight, but they need to break this losing skid sooner rather than later.
It's going to be hard to break. MSU, a decent team, as they always have, and Devin and I have been talking about on the broadcasts throughout the entire year. It's an anybody can beat anybody league here in the MCHC this year. And taking a look at the MCHC East standings with that Central Michigan win, they still remain in 3rd place, but they are only 1 point behind Lawrence Tech, sitting at 4-2-0 on the year. They have 8 points. Lawrence Tech 4-1-0-1. They have 9. Well, before we take off for the evening and head back to Mount Pleasant, we'll take one final look at the out-of-town scoreboard. The Griffins in action on Friday against Manitoba at 7. The Spirit take on the Firebirds in an OHL rivalry matchup on Wednesday at 7, and the Red Wings will take on Nashville on Wednesday at 7. That'll do it for us here today. Before we head out, we'd like to special thanks to, Calvin Keys for joining us for the postgame show, but also Forrest Vernier for working the camera for us this afternoon, and ACTV worker. And Calvin, you really helped us out tonight getting him here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Anything for you guys. It was great to see you again. Glad you had a good broadcast. Happy that you guys were able to find a spot up here, get your broadcast up and running, and then shout out to Forrest Vernier. He's one of our ACTV cameramen, and he was really excited to come help you guys out. And
he ran all the way across campus from his dorm to get here about 2 minutes before the game, and he was all red in the face, and we're very happy that he was able to.
So, with about 20 minutes until puck drop, to give some backstory, they were looking for a cameraman and brought it up to me, and I sent it out in our ACTV group chat of employees. Hey, my CMU colleagues are looking for a cameraman for their broadcast. It's just volunteer work if anyone wants to come out and help. Forrest was very excited, tried to get here as quick as he could, ran all the way over. I think his face was red as an apple when he was heading into the Arrington, but incredible work by him, and happy that we were able to find someone for you guys to help out.
Thank you very much, Calvin. And that'll just about do it for us here this afternoon. But we'll be back here in 3 weeks' time when the Central Michigan Chippewas take on Grand Valley State at Martin the second weekend of December. Until then, this is Reagan Cleaves for Devin Sarah and Calvin Keys and everybody else here at CCHN saying so long from Arrington Ice Arena in Adrian, Michigan, as the Central Michigan Chippewas knock off the Adrian Bulldogs by a final score of 5-3. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful night, everybody.